Alright, we are back. Hello, it's me again. I'm still here.
Howdy, I'm still here too, but this time you can't see my face.
Alright, so, if, Hello, it's me again. I'm still here. I'm hearing echo on my side. Let me fix that. Give me one actually, no. Let me just turn my
Oh, maybe
speakers down.
you have the stream unmuted or something.
No, I turned that off. Okay, well, I'm not hearing myself echo anymore, so who knows what that is.
But this is Magic Knight Rayearth, the very last game released in the US on the Saturn.
Yeah.
And one of the earliest released in Japan. And it was localized by Working Designs, who are famous for localizing niche and underrepresented games in the 90s. Yes.
I got my 2 copies. This
Me
one
too.
cost $5, and this one cost $99. And nowadays, this one costs like what, $20, $30? I think.
I think it was 40 last I checked.
$40, and this one costs $1,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a little bit longer run, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. So if ready for countdown here on new game, we're gonna do it in. I need to pull my guide up. Give me 1 second. I have the pause stream. Okay, here we go. Got my guide up. All right, we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
I'll try.
Don't worry, you'll get the world record this run.
Oh god. Okay, so without doing the mirror skip, I think that's impossible.
Yeah.
What costs 1K? The game. This is my complete copy. The disc obviously isn't in here, but a complete copy. I have the stickers too. Costs $1,000. All right. So first we need to get this NPC to move up, and then move back down and push us into a wall. Perfect. And
oh wow, that was
and
fast.
Yeah, that was nearly perfect.
So
and
there's some like falling tiles off the side of the screen, and when you fall off a ledge in this game, it's like Zelda where you just pop back up and lose health. Normally you're only supposed to be able to play as Hikaru in this section, where basically in the normal world in Tokyo Tower on some school trip, normally you would go to the top floor, you'd find Umiafu there, you'd chase your dog, localizes flash around, I think it's like Hikage in Japanese.
Hikari. She says it in her spell. Hikari.
No, I thought it was Hikage.
Nope, Hikage is something else. I know Kage is Shadow, but Hikari is the dog's name in...
Okay, I'll take your word for it because I've never seen the anime or read the manga.
I mean, she says it in the game. She says Hikari, and the dog comes through. We'll see that later.
It's all muffled.
It is Saturn voice clips.
Yeah, but it's very much like a Zelda 3 clone where it's an action RPG, like leaning more in RPG than Zelda does. We just did the skip there. That takes us straight to Polyzoo Village. Basically, the way that works is it takes you to the last zone you entered, but because in Tokyo Tower you never entered a zone, it takes you to the first zone in the list, which is Polyzoo Village, and now we're isekai'd into a different world where Princess Emerald has summoned us as the Magic Knights to save Sephiroth, and it skips a lot of lore where we meet Clef. He's like this 600-year-old guy who looks like he's a teenager. We also meet Alcyone, one of the main villains, Zagat's underlings, and she's a thorn in our side throughout the entire game. We also meet
Precia.
Precia, that's it.
Yes, who makes our weapons for us. Basically, the first area is a bunch of cutscenes and a tutorial dungeon where we have to go get the Escudo medal to make our weapons and bring them back to Precia. We also meet Makona. Makona's like... I don't have my Makona plushie with me. It's upstairs. I have a Makona plushie. But Makona's like the little mascot, little character. We'll see him a couple times in the game.
Yeah, it becomes like a character for Clamp, or mascot for Clamp.
That takes like 30 minutes about total to all do?
Yeah, it takes about 30 minutes. It involves going through a tutorial dungeon. This is also a tutorial dungeon. This one's more also on the mechanics of the game than just fighting enemies. Yeah, and you're supposed to like fight.
I'm gonna get the backup potion here just in case.
Yeah, okay. So she's collecting the backup potion there just as a safety measure because
like
things can get a little hairy. Each character, you can swap between them freely. They each have their own unique moveset, their strengths, their weaknesses. It doesn't really matter who you are early on, as long as you know you're not dying.
There's spikes there? I never knew.
Yes.
I never knew that. Holy TIL. If you walk too far up, there's spikes.
Yeah, no one would ever walk through that. So, you got the standard puzzle-solving stuff, like with pushing blocks onto switches and pushing objects around and little puzzle-solving. This game's not a particularly deep game, but it's very fun, and there's plenty of challenge to have in the US version. Working Designs is normally known for ramping up difficulty in games they localize, usually to unfair levels. I feel like this is one of the rare times where they tuned it just right, because the original Japanese release of this game is incredibly easy. There's no challenge whatsoever. Everything does like 1 or 2 points of damage. And you can just basically breeze through the game without any issue. In the US version, things can do variable amounts of damage, enemies move faster, bosses do more damage.
Yeah, there's only maybe one or two instances where I wish the enemies hadn't been sped up, or if they don't do so much damage. That makes it, especially in the speedrun, it makes it quite difficult to get through, just from how much stuff we skip in the speedrun. We end up essentially there's sort of levels in this game where at certain story points you end up leveling up, and we skip enough story that we are under-leveled at the end of the game.
Yeah. And we skip 2, 3. We skip at least 3 level ups. For the most part, it's one character at a time. After you defeat a boss, they'll have a moment where they grow in the story, and they level up and become more powerful.
Right now, everyone's supposed to be level 1, but because we skipped the tutorial dungeon, we are actually level 0 right now.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go also pick the.
Which means we haven't learned the level 1 spell, but we do have access to them. Normally, that little black spot under the character's icon is the spell they currently have equipped.
Let's wait for it to come back around and jump over it. I got stuck on the corner. There we go.
And right now we do have a level 1 spell equipped, but because we never did the cutscenes that unlock those where they realize their potential magic, there's no icon for it.
Yeah, Fu's gonna get the icon here, because we're gonna learn her level 2 spell, and it's just gonna show oh wait, she has a level 1 spell too, so it's gonna appear there. So now Fu has a spell.
So, Fu is basically our support class, where she does the least amount of damage, but she has a healing spell. Umi is our biggest damage by the end of the game. She's our damage class, and she also has a long range attack, but it's narrow.
Yeah.
And then Hikaru is our all-rounder, where she does okay damage. Her range is a little bit shorter, but she has a wider range on her attack. And also, because we're level 0, we also don't have a charge attack for each character yet. When you level up to 1, each character's weapon gets a charge attack that enhances their attacks in some way, where Hikaru gets a little bit of range and extra time on her attack decay. Umi gets a longer range shot with a longer range and more damage with their charge attack, and Fu, she shoots more arrows but doesn't do more damage. It's just really handy for clearing weak enemies. Some of the puzzle solving in this game revolves around swapping to specific characters and either using a spell they have or using a special attack. And now we're on to the first boss. Basically, that wizard that we were that was blocking our path. He's the wizard of the village, and he put up a barrier to block the town from the monsters, or to protect the town from the monsters from coming out. But this barrier had broken, and so we came in and helped, and he didn't like that. He wanted to protect his ego. So now we're fighting this crab spider monster. I think it's Arachnidia is the localized name.
And I'm cheating.
Yes. We're doing a glitch where you swap this, we call it the magic swap glitch, where we buffer in a character with mana, swap it to a character without a mana, and if we press the character swap and the spell button on the same frame, it'll do the mana check on the character you're at, but use the mana and the spell of the character you swap to, and it really opens up the speed run for to be able to deal with it easily. Deal with like a lot of these bosses easily, because magic is king for damage for most of this game, but of course it's gated by having limited mana, and you could get around it by using potions and stuff, but you can carry one of each potion, and there's a healing potion. Nice. There's a healing potion and there's a mana potion, and the mana potion also heals your health.
Yeah, like the healing potion heals your mana, and the mana potion... Does the mana potion heal your health?
No. Mana potion only heals your mana, but the healing potion heals both.
Everything, yeah. So
and if any character dies, they float around like they're dead, and you can't swap to them until you revive them, either with a potion or a fountain in the village. Or a fountain before a boss fight.
And you can only carry one of each potion. So we currently have a health potion. We can only carry one. I'm gonna go get a mana potion here in the next town. I think I picked up the second chest, right? I don't remember.
I don't know. I was busy talking.
Oh, right, there's more text.
Yeah. And so, like, in this game, there's also a shop where you can buy healing and mana potions. There's also one shop where you can buy health and magic upgrades, but it's not really useful to do that, because aside from chests, money's hard to grind in this game, and they're quite expensive. There are a lot of health and mana upgrades on the field, and you also get get +1 to healthier mana when you level up. So Hikaru leveled up here, so now she's level 1, and she has her charge attack and a little bit more health and damage. And now we're going to the next town, because we were basically told to find the ancient machines, and we were told to look in the sea, sky, and volcano. So now we're going to the sea, and there's currently they're being beset by whirlpools, and no one's able to go out fishing, and we're going to try to solve that. But we can't do anything because we don't know how to swim.
Right, no boats, and we can't swim, because swimming is obviously easier than the boats.
Somehow.
So yeah, we're going to go learn how to swim now.
Yeah. So what you're supposed to talk around with people in town to figure out what to do next, and all we really need to do is talk to 2 people to advance the story. We talk to this guy who tells us about cultists. He's like, yeah, this is like the one guy who's like a strong swimmer. And then we're gonna talk to a girl, Sarah, who lives by herself. I think her parents passed away or something. And she has a new pet that's like a little tiny pink creature that everyone is ostracizing her for having. They're like, no, you shouldn't have this pet.
You'll find that her first pet died, and she got a new pet, but everyone's like, that thing's a monster. All right, so I bought that's my backup mana potion, because there's mana potions in the field and stuff that you can get, but they're pretty hard to find until the late game. So we just go ahead and for backups we buy those. So there we did that. And now, L button? Okay, it works. my L button on my controller has been very iffy, so I was almost gonna have to switch control schemes there. All right, so I'm gonna go.
This game does have a fast travel as well when you're in a town or outside of, just basically outside of a dungeon.
Was that added in the US version, or was that in the Japanese?
No, that was there. The only thing that the US version added was more saves and cutscene skips.
More save slots, yeah. And also reading from the you can read from the memory card.
Yeah. So yeah, you can read from the backup cartridge, and more save slots in general. They also
cutscene skip.
Yeah, the cutscene skip is fantastic, because the Japanese version, basically you can't skip dialogue that's voiced, and that's in both versions. And in the Japanese version, about 99% of the dialogue in the game is voiced, so it adds a lot of time to the Japanese version of the game, even though the Japanese version would technically be faster if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, it'd be faster. It's easier for sure, but it would be faster otherwise if it wasn't for being unable to skip voice dialogue and being unable to skip the animated cutscenes.
Working Designs made the brave choice to not voice act a lot of the game.
They moved all the voice acting work to the diaries instead.
Yes.
And they basically filled those up with the voices, which are optional. You don't need to read those or anything. So basically, all the voice acting and cutscene in these scenes with the characters and everything, all the voice acting is front loaded into that 30 minutes of the game that we skipped, and then all of the evil people cutscenes. So every time the scene changes to the evil people's floating castle, those scenes are all voiced, and also the we'll be seeing our first voice scene here very shortly. And that's the other kind of set. We only see 2 of them now. There's 4 total. We only see 2 of them now. Those are also voiced.
Yeah. So there's going to be a tutorial cutscene coming up where it's voice acted, and they're fun little goofy things. The first one gets skipped because it just basically teaches you how to save the game. And here, Cultist is teaching us how to swim after we told him about Sarah's got it over losing her pet because Cultist wasn't able to save it from drowning. And it made him feel less sad about his life because he was wallowing in sorrow over failing her.
Hey, by the way, we allow turbo. We allow turbo for text and swimming in this game. So if you're looking for a speed run that lets you use turbo, use this game.
Yes, because there's a lot of cutscene mashing, and we allowed it before the Tokyo Tower skip was found because. Like I said, the first half hour is a bunch of cutscenes, and mashing for half an hour is not fun.
Yeah.
Mysterious Sephiroth lecture
I used to be able to do it, but nowadays I'm like, turbo.
And others have mastered the skill known as Roaring Rapid Wave Cut.
Roaring Rapid Wave.
In other words, the girls have learned
and we're going to learn how to swim like beavers, which they then applied to Majora's Mask later.
To the north.
By pressing the attack button
That's
while
right,
in
quite
the water,
literally.
the girls swim forward. It's that easy.
Okay, that's it for now. We hope you're enjoying the
Although,
game.
honestly, before this game,
See
I've
you
never
later,
known
kids.
beavers to be strong swimmers.
I mean, they live in the water. They have to do something, right?
Yeah, but they
Other
always
than
seem
look
like
cute
they're
and
very
Knollwood.
leisurely about it.
Alright. My guide is so zoomed in so I can read it. I have to keep scrolling every single bit.
Yeah, all you do is just really hold up for the most part.
Yeah, up till you pass 2 whirlpools and up and right.
Yep. So basically, this is a pseudo maze puzzle where the whirlpools are supposed to drag you around, and you're supposed to go all the way around and navigate through the whirlpools to avoid getting pulled around by them. But it turns out you can just hold up for the most part and go straight to the dungeon instead of going all the way around.
Alright, I only beefed it a little bit, but we got through. Okay,
Yeah,
now
it's just fun.
for the ice cave. Oh yeah, there's more safeties in here, so I might take those just in case.
I think you'll be fine.
I don't know, magic. I'm just scared of magic glitch is all.
I mean, at least it's easy to do on the turbo controller. Because, on a normal Saturn pad, the top 3 buttons are different size and shape, and they're convex instead of concave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have that right.
I definitely had more luck with this controller doing.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's frame perfect. You got to hit the buttons at the same time. If the game thinks you're 1 frame off, it's gonna play the voice clip of the character you're switching from, but play the animation of the character you switch to and not do any magic.
Yeah, and just fizzle.
I just hit that enemy
Although this
eye.
game does have an annoying bug where sometimes spells just fizzle in general. I remember when I first started running this game, that would happen every so often. And it was before any real glitches or skips were found. So now we're learning Hikaru's level 2 spell, which is, I think they call it Flame Shock.
Flaming Shock, yeah.
Yeah. And it's our most powerful spell for now. It costs 3 mana to use instead of 2, and instead of hitting only in front of her, it hits the whole screen. And it does a really good chunk of damage, and we need to use it also to solve the puzzle in the same room where we got that, but on the other side.
We're just gonna cheat. I didn't have her switched. Okay, we're gonna try that again. Magic is this button. Alright.
Yep, there you go. There you go.
Usually I switch her magic before leaving the room, but I think 'cause I had her at such low HP, I was like, don't switch to Hikaru. Because if she dies, you have to restart the dungeon or heal her.
Yeah, because he cannot complete this dungeon without her alive, and that's like kind of like a bit of a downfall of this game is if one of the characters dies and they're needed for the dungeon, then the dungeon's uncompletable until you revive. But honestly, it's faster. I guess it'd be faster just to take a death and start from the beginning of the dungeon.
Yeah, you just run through the dungeon then.
Yeah,
it's really annoying,
because
but you just run through the dungeon.
This game is very friendly in that way, where if you completely die, you just start at the beginning of the dungeon. And there's no consequences for it. Other than, time lost. Like anything you've done in the dungeon is saved, and
I didn't get
you're good to just run through.
Okay, I'm gonna have 50 gems for the rest of the game now. Because I've never... There's a chest in that room with the switch, and I just forgot to grab it, so... Alright, we really only need we have both the health and the mana potion, so if the next boss goes horribly, we still have 2 safeties.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
It's just that I won't have the safeties for later.
Yeah.
I don't know, I had good luck with my practice with the next boss here, so...
And so now we're gonna meet the first ancient machine, and it appears as a giant dragon serpent, but it wants us to prove our power to it before it will join Umi. This is Umi's ancient machine, Ceres. And of course, it's blue like her.
Yeah, good old color coding magical girls. Although this is kind of the more magical warrior sort of series than strict magical girls. Just because later on, it gets a little bit more shonen-esque in terms of battles and how things go than a lot of kind of more magical girl series. I guess a good comparison would be kind of like how later series of Nanoha get, where it's a little more actiony and less about the transforming and magic powers type of stuff. Although Nanoha just saves everyone with friendship anyway, so... Oh yeah, it's fun thing with Turbo is if, on that same frame when it's switching, you kind of have control there and you can see them attack.
Yeah.
Alright, so unfortunately, Ascot, who's that little green guy there, back on the other scene, he takes Jiminy and transforms him into a giant version of himself. I don't know if in the anime, if Jiminy was like a plant from Ascot to do this, or if he just takes advantage of the situation. I have not seen the Rayearth anime in 20... No, less, it's like maybe like 18, 17 years. I never actually finished it. I only watched the first season. The second season of Rayearth is, we'll just say contentious. On its quality compared to the manga. Some people like the manga, some people like the anime. I only watched the very end of the anime, honestly, to see what would happen. Okay, Jiminy. Flashing lights warning, by the way.
Yeah, this is actually like a really easy fight, both speedrunning casually. Basically, Jiminy just kind of flies around and tries to land on you. And all you have to do is, especially in the speedrun, all you do is continue doing damage because there is iframes, but they're short enough that you can just chain magic that doesn't matter because they end before the animation's over. There's like 2 different kinds of iframes in this game. With most monster fights, the iframes count down after it gets hit. With like regular human fights, the iframes will hold when you cast a spell so that they won't count down during spell cast, and it's mostly consistent, which is nice.
Alright,
very nice fight.
We're good.
Yeah.
Land?
And even... Yeah,
thank you.
Sometimes the Jiminy takes a while to land.
Yeah. Only one miss there, so that you saw there where Fu cast her healing spell by accident, and then she didn't have any mana, so I had to switch which buttons I used for using to Umi now.
Yeah.
But if
and of course, Ascot's one of the bad guys too.
But he feels kind of bad. I know a big plot of the anime is that he thinks all the monsters of as his friends, and he doesn't really get when his friends die, and he's like, why am I feeling so sad when these monsters I've been using they die and stuff. So you'll notice soon that the anime cutscenes kind of start drying up. There's gonna be, I think there's like one more, after the next one. There's the Ceres' one, there's an Evil People one, and then there's the one in the Ice Town. And after that, they kind of dry up because the game kind of starts taking its own plot for a little bit to beef things out.
I do wonder if the one in Rosen was made for the game, because it seems a lot cleaner than the rest of them.
Yeah. If you actually play through them, the compression quality on that one, where you do get introduced to a certain character there, is a lot cleaner looking. Probably is, because I honestly do not remember how they meet Rafarga in the anime.
Yeah, it's probably not there.
We need to watch this. We need to watch this series.
I've been meaning to. I just keep putting it off because watching anime is hard.
Watching anime is hard. It takes time. And this is what I've seen and read already.
Pity that you've returned.
Rayearth was the second manga that I read, either the first or second, one of the two. Because I read this and Sorcerer Hunters like back to back, pretty much. And I remember huddling on. My friend was the one buying it with her like allowance money that she was scrounging up. And the final volume of Rayearth came out. You know, Tokyo Pop released it. It took forever to come out. She got it. She like calls me up. She's like, "I got Rayearth. You gotta come over and read it." So I remember sitting at her house, huddled together, shoulder to shoulder on her porch, reading the final volume of Rayearth. Just complete silence between us for like however long it took us to read it. And we get to the end, and we go, "That's it? That's the ending? What?"
It was that bad, huh?
It's interesting, I'll say the least. They do different things between the manga and the anime. So, spoilers. Alcyone lives in the anime, and she's in the second season of the anime. There's an additional character called Nova, who's like Hikaru's shadow, to use Persona 4 terms. Nova is not in the manga. And the character pairings are different between the anime and the manga. In the manga, Ascot grows up and is paired off with Umi. But in the anime, Umi and Clef get paired off together. Interesting, isn't it? I know. Did you realize that all the characters are named after cars? Clamp is funny like that. So, that's Fario up there. We were supposed to meet him earlier, in the Forest of Silence, but we skipped that, so we're all like, "Oh, it's Fario again," but we never actually seen him before. Fu's got a crush on him, but she thinks that he's like... I got the sound glitch there. He thinks that he's trying to woo the other ladies, and she gets weird feelings about that, and she doesn't like it. Game?
Yeah.
I was turboing too fast, and she was reading the front desk instead of the cutscene playing.
Yeah, usually in towns, I turbo with C for that reason, so it doesn't happen.
True, yeah. Because then you don't cast your magic in town.
Yeah. So now things are really weird. Everyone's out wandering around at night for some reason,
Don't
going
you take
into the
walks at
cave.
night? It's nice and cold. It's nice and cool at night, especially now with like temperatures in the hundreds. It's clearly temperatures in the hundreds in these days here. But yeah, walking at night, very nice and cool. This town's all snowy because a volcano erupted nearby. So that's why we're here, is because we heard, "Oh, volcano, maybe the machine is here." And that's also why that lady's here. She's one of Zagat's minions.
Yep.
And they're like, "Oh, volcano, we're gonna go dig the machine up before you can, haha. Because we're the evil people."
Who knew being evil involved digging in the mines?
Well, see, they're getting people to do it for them. That's why it's evil.
Yeah, that's true. Now Fario's here, and we're just gonna be a jerk to him because anime.
And then she immediately regrets it because anime.
Yeah.
Fu's supposed to be the smart one in the group, and here she is just saying like stuff, and she's like, "Oh, well, I don't know why I'm feeling these feelings."
Yeah. So this is like a unique dungeon in the game. It's the only dungeon that's just like one giant room, and it's like it's still a maze, but it's all interconnected by these rails, and it's a neat little dungeon, but I would say it's unremarkable other than being uniquely one giant room.
Yeah, you can easily get lost if you're just playing casually in this dungeon because it's called is this Bewildering Cave?
Yeah.
Bewildering Cave. It's called Bewildering Cave for a reason. You can get lost very easily. But we only need to go to 2 locations in the dungeon here to get what we need.
Yeah, we just need puzzle magic and go to the boss.
If you're doing, there's another category of this game called All Rainbow Amulets. If you're doing that category, then you need to actually explore this dungeon.
Yeah, there's a lot of rainbow amulets in here. And rainbow amulets are basically like all the collectibles of the game, and there's 8 of each. Or is there 8? Yeah, 8 of each. And they give you like extras at a shop that you can buy little fun things with, like different pictures of Pricia to mess with her. Little useful items like an exiting dungeon item. An item that slowly refills your mana when you're standing still. It's not very useful. There's some shoes you can get that make Mokona sounds when you move, and they're really annoying.
So that mirror, I was trying to jump into that mirror because I don't know the timing for it at all. There's another skip there you can do that saves about like 25 to 30 seconds, where you don't have to do this whole last part of the dungeon here.
Yeah, it basically, if you jump in between cutscenes, like there are points where you're in between a cutscene and you can move, you still have control, and if you run the cutscene and you jump out of it, you can jump up and then finish off the cutscene, get the spell, and then be out of bounds. But I've only ever been able to get it like once or twice and never in a run. It is a very difficult and finicky trick to do.
I want her on her wind spell, and I want her on her shot spell. Okay. Yeah, it's basically the not mid game, but like this category run version of getting the map, we call the map glitch, which we're going to be seeing the map glitch later in this run, but it's also used in the any percent run at the very start. That's almost the equivalent of getting the map glitch in like the normal any percent run.
Yeah.
Which
and that's why this is called no polyzoo skip, because if you're doing a true any percent run, there's a map glitch you can do in Polyzoo Village after a cutscene, and you can do a ton of very specific and precise movement. You can go straight to the final dungeon and rush to the end of the game. So this fight, we're fighting. Her name just left my mind. Caldina. It's like I had it in my head, and when I wanted to say it was gone. We're fighting Caldina, where this is like technically food fight. So you're supposed to use your magic and then fight range with Fu. It's a very long and slow fight when fighting with Fu because she does almost no damage.
Yeah, and you don't. And you would have her homing attack then if you're playing casually, which helps because you can just hold her homing attack and do that. But we don't have her homing attack, so it would be she's very weak at this point. It would be very, very. You have to be really careful.
Have to aim. And you can beat up damage her in melee, but it's very random because she does this attack where she dances around you, like just right there.
It's very hard to see which one.
If you choose the correct one, then you damage her. Otherwise, it blows up on you and deals damage to you.
Yeah, it's very hard to see because of that. The foreground passing by makes it really hard to see if you're like right there. If it's timed really badly and she's doing the dancing move. And and that foreground passes by, it's almost impossible. And I'm just bad at seeing which one's different.
I can't even tell most of the time.
The last one there, I could tell the last one there when that one happened. I was like, I know it's the bottom right one, and that's the one that got hit.
Yeah, it's the only one that moves slightly different to the others in terms of animation timing.
Yeah, it's that's a very annoying boss to do physically. So. If I had run, if Hikaru had died, I would have just switched to Umi and hoped that I was only 2 hits away, or because Fu, I missed on Fu twice.
It seems my little.
So I would have just used my health potion there, but luckily I didn't. So we are good to go with both of our potions right now, and hopefully that stays that way for a little bit. All right, got a short dungeon coming up next. Very much
the Resident Evil 5 gang is here for anime.
Ah.
At least I assume that's what RE5 stands for.
Yeah, Resident Evil's anime, right? It's Japanese. It counts.
Oh yeah, totally. So now we're doing going back to the inn to get a lead on where to go next. There's a rock that blocks the exit to the next village that was caused by the volcano. And so we were told to go see Rafarga. He's like, he might be able to help. He's pretty strong. And we get a nice little lore dump with him.
Just in case, because I have had the game crash here.
Yeah, it's only happened once.
Twice. Twice? Once? It happened to each of us, I think. Once to
Yeah,
me,
it
once
happened
to you.
only once to each of us, and then never happened again.
Yeah, so that's enough times for me to panic during a marathon and go, I'm going to safety save here. For whatever reason, the game just soft locked at the next cutscene after this one, where the voices just never came in. And wasn't it with yours where like it just took forever for it to start doing the voices and then it froze? Something weird like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. So I don't use turbo here. I save beforehand just in case, because we don't want any spicy crashes. Because I think my only other saves are like, I have a Spring of Eterna save I saw, which doesn't count for the speed run because that's way back to the tutorial area.
Yeah, it's in an area we skip.
And I think I had one at the city after Lack Attack. So that's a good ways ahead. So yeah, safety save.
Yeah.
At
Very important.
least saving is really fast.
I will also mention that the US release is a lot more stable than the original Japanese release. The Japanese release is prone to crashes. There's a memory leak that after about 3 hours of gameplay, the game will just start having corruption issues and eventually crash.
What was that? My glitchless JP run for really, really long-a-thon, lots of lore, I think 3 years ago? Maybe 4 years ago at this point. I don't know, it was the day that I ran I ran this category and glitchless JP on the same day, back to back, for 2 different marathons.
That's rough.
You were there for the glitchless run. You commentated that run. And I think I ran the other one solo. I think it was like Value-thon and then really, really long-a-thon on the same day.
Yeah, I remember that now.
I think it's at the next town where I took a hard reset because of the memory leak, because the JP glitchless goes for like 4 hours just about.
Something like that.
Yeah. So basically at the halfway point of the run, I took a hard reset on my Saturn just to stop the memory leak.
Indeed, by running to increase your speed, the power to throw yourselves
But the
increases
nice thing
as well.
about the Japanese version, if you want to speedrun it, is that there's like one remnant of debug code left over where you can get all the abilities early.
Be sure to give yourself plenty of
And it allows
you
some interesting skips, but there's still some parts that are hard-coded to be unskippable, like this area we have to do this cutscene no matter what.
Yeah.
Because the rock that blocks your path is a different rock than the one that appears after the cutscene's over.
Yeah, it gets like the breaking collision basically once you do the cutscene here. Also
And
bug.
remember, boom.
Boom! Boom! They left the snap in the recording. I love that. Working designs, like, there was a, I think it was Pidge Zero, that tweeted, like, what's your spiciest take for a video game? And I want the real spicy ones. So I said that, working designs wasn't the be-all, end-all ruiner of games. There were some missteps, like, Vi, the Fart Fairy and Vi, the Exile and Kadash, and I guess arguably Solar Mirage, the difficulty increases in those, having to pay to save in Lunar. There's all that, but there's so many games they localized that would not have come out in English if it wasn't for them. And the fact that they, like, fought against the head of Sega of America and the head of Sony at the time to get their games out, even though in the end, it killed them. The fact that they worked so hard to release that try to release that Goemon game on PS2, and, just weren't able to, and they kept working on it and everything, just that. And having to release Growlancer as a double pack instead of a single game. As 2 single games as well. So
I will say the weirdest localization choice they made, though, is an Exile Wicked Phenomenon, where the main character gets a constant derogatory nickname of Poopy Boy. And that is just, like, the weirdest thing. And everyone calls them that. It's not like a one-off or like a couple of characters do it. Everybody does.
It's kind of like, I guess, maybe they're going for like a Lunar thing. No, was Exile before Lunar?
I don't remember, honestly. It's all kind of a blur.
Because in Lunar 1, please do me here. In Lunar 1, Galleon calls Alex Dragon Boy over and over again. I'm just trying to get rid of these fireballs here so I can get run speed.
No, which Lunar?
Lunar 1.
Oh, okay.
He just calls, hello, just fall. My run speed is gone. Get it? No, okay,
Lunar definitely came out first.
Okay.
Lunar?
I know
no,
Lunar...
actually, no, I have that wrong. They came out in the same year. Lunar came out later in the year.
Okay. Maybe they're just feeling... I did not want to press C there. I want to press B.
Sure.
We're gonna defeat that enemy, or not? Because
no, you're not, because it's fire. This is like one of the few times where the element of your spell actually matters.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Here in the next dungeon, it actually matters.
Yeah. Other than that, the element of your spell doesn't matter one bit. It's just for show.
All right. Not as smooth as my earlier time through there, but we're still good.
Yeah, then so this is basically like a two-part dungeon in a way. Like this is like a connecting dungeon to the next town where it's on fire, and they're unable to put it out no matter how much they try. As you know, Lens creates that it's a magical fire, and if you talk to one of the villagers, you're like, oh man, like my kid is still in the building.
Yeah, we need to go rescue the kid. Pull a Final Fantasy VI and go to the burning building here.
Yeah. But you don't have to talk to anyone to actually get in here. We don't need no lore. We're just going to go be a firefighter. And so basically in this dungeon, it's like a 2-story building, or no, 3-story building, right? Yeah. Yeah, 3 stories. And we're supposed to collect keys to open doors. There's a blue key, a red key, and a green key, of course.
They're going to bite my butt, okay. See,
yeah,
this is where
they only do
the
one
first
damage.
instance of the enemies being sped up is really annoying.
Actually, if I recall, these ones are just as fast in the Japanese version.
Are they? I swear they're not. But it's also been a hot minute since I played the Japanese.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I played the Japanese version.
It's been since that long-a-thon run since I played it.
Yeah. If you have the means to play it in English, I definitely recommend it. The voice acting is really good. I think the localization is fantastic. There's like a couple of odd spots if you in like flavor text, but like in the actual localization, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's the same. Like, I think that was my thing when I was saying about working designs. All the weird things that people say about their localizations is like, that was only in the flavor text. The actual stories were pretty much unchanged. Except for, like, the one thing in Vi, pretty much.
Yeah. They did some changes in the Exile games, but that was basically them just avoiding religious references.
Yeah, that was normal for the 90s. You kind of had to do that.
Yep. But, yeah. Like, when people point out, like, oh yeah, working designers did this, it's like, well, you're taking it out of context for one, and two... No, sometimes that door doesn't want to open for whatever reason.
That's the first time that's happened to me. Alright, back up. Oh, I want that.
It happens to me more often than you'd think. Where the door will just not open despite pushing up against it and having to run away and come back to it.
Frickin' dogs, man.
They're pretty sure they're rats.
They're squeak. They have long ears, though. I don't know.
And they squeak. I don't know.
Rat dogs.
Rat dogs.
Yeah. Oh, hit the fire. Oh, it's
they're not named anywhere in the English or Japanese game.
Jump? No. Foo.
Yeah, don't jump from up there. Jumping up from there is bad.
It's getting bought.
It's whatever, there's a healing thing.
Yeah, but it's still annoying, because, okay, then jump.
I like to hug the bottom wall, it seems to be easier.
Alright, and now jump, and then jump, and then jump, and then heal. Luckily, the dogs only run so far. Okay.
So in this fight,
we were on fire. We were on Water Tornado, right?
Yeah. Ugi's gonna do like double damage to the boss.
Her magic, because I'm gonna be switching from Hikaru here. I mean, I'll switch from Fu if I have to, but I'll be switching from Hikaru at first, because it's on Z and not Y. Y makes it more awkward.
Mijitsu is dropping a bit of lore for that door that has trouble opening. Only the left side open is a trigger for it.
Oh, I was hitting the right side?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. TIL. We are learning so much about this game today.
Mijitsu is a runner of this game and also did a task of it and did a lot of research into breaking the game open quite a bit.
Please watch the task. It is... Yeah. The task of this game is 13 minutes long. It's amazing.
It's a fantastic watch. It's also like he's also the only one to do a proper 80% run on console. It's a very difficult category to do because there's a lot of precise inputs you have to do with no room for error in order to just execute the glitch in the first place, and then you're in one-hit KO mode going straight to the end of the game. And it's rough.
Yeah, if it wasn't for having to do map glitch in Polyzoo and do that whole walk around to get to the final dungeon, I would totally try it. But it's honestly more of that that's preventing me from trying the 80% run. Oh, than the final and like being bodied by the final dungeon.
Yeah,
although
same
like
thing,
that would be. I think I would get annoyed very quickly at being bodied by the final dungeon with 3 HP.
But yeah, we've been talking about the map glitch a lot, and we're actually going to be doing that coming up soon. The next town we go to, we're going to skip doing all the stuff there. In that town, basically, there's an illness that has fallen over the town. We're supposed to go to the Tree of Life, get the last leaf from the dying tree to make a medicine to save people. But they're going to be fine on their own. They don't need us. We're just going to completely go over them and go on to the next town.
Charming, but unnecessary for now, Inova. Just continue to monitor
they're
her
fine
activities.
Yeah.
As you wish.
They'll find. I mean, you know, it's that guy, that NPC gets the leaf anyway, right? We say that happens anyway, right? Yeah,
Abner
totally.
Abner totally gets the leaf.
He gets it in the main game as well.
Shoot, what was his name? It wasn't Abner, it was
Was it not Abner? I thought that was Abner.
No, you're right, it's Abner. I was mixing up Ascot and Alto, because they all have A's.
Right, yeah.
So Alto is like Ascot's phony name he comes up with when you meet him in the Tree of Life, and he starts to become a good guy, and then he dies later.
Yeah, we're gonna skip all that.
We're gonna skip all that.
You can actually see the scene where Ascot doesn't get killed if you do pop into the dungeon in the next area. You can actually pop in via the back entrance and do the boss fight there and see that cutscene.
And do the dungeon backwards. It's great.
Do the dungeon completely backwards. It's hilarious.
I actually do that for the all rainbow amulets run, because you do have to clear that dungeon in order to get the rainbow amulets.
Yeah, because isn't there one for like Fu's 3rd level magic there or something?
Yes, and by doing it backwards, you only have to go through the dungeon once instead of twice. So Kari's going to do the map glitch we've been talking about. Is basically on the exit of a cutscene where you're moved in the cutscene. I'm pretty sure that's like it only works in those kinds of cutscenes. I'm not entirely sure on the specifics, because I never was briefed on exactly how it works. I just know how to execute it.
Yeah.
But if you exit the cutscene and press the fast travel button on the same frame as you gain gain control, you'll gain the miniature chibi sprites of the.
I want Lacona screens. I want to change my controls.
I'm
slightly better at doing it with the Y button, and I press the hint button instead. Okay.
Yeah, so you get one frame to do this trick, but you get all the time you want. You overmatch there.
Yeah. And
what it does is it displaces you to you're out of bounds, but you're not truly out of bounds. And it gives you the miniature sprites and allows you to wiggle past that rock that normally is blocking your path via story means. And you can, if you go too far out after moving in this state, you'll go completely out of bounds and have to exit the area and re-enter. But there's like a small window where you're out of bounds, but you're not truly out of bounds. And it's a one-frame trick. It's definitely a tight timing. Everyone has their own little visual cues for how it works, because especially if you're playing on a modern display where lag is variable compared to what it was designed for on a CRT, you just find a cue that works for you. But yeah, you get one frame to do it, and it's a really tight window. Well, of course. And it's a 60 FPS game, which is just fantastic. But once you get it, it's really cool.
Come on.
I believe in you.
Do
just
it.
gotta hit that right frame. It's really like what I do is I mash a few times, and usually I get it, but you can overmash really easily and then lose a bunch of time because the load times in this game are quite lengthy.
I do 3 hits per crossing there.
Okay,
I overmashed like that.
Mitch dropping more lore. Apparently, the map glitch warps you to the same coordinates you would have been on the overworld map. That's fascinating to know.
So there, I got it, but I got it on my second hit, and I hit 3 times always. So I got it, and then immediately went to the map screen. So gotta try it again.
Yeah. And that's like an unfortunate side effect of playing in a CD game is the load times, especially a 90s CD game. But this game also doesn't really have well-optimized load times. Like, you can compare it to other contemporaries that were other games on the system that were released later that did a better job of optimizing their load times so that they're largely invisible. Like another wonderful RPG called Panzer Dragoon Saga has very, very quick load times, despite being, on the same console.
Come on. I can't even like when I got it last, I couldn't even feel how I got it. That's how finicky this trick is.
Yeah. My visual cue is when Umi starts walking across the change in floor, but that's also going to be different for you.
That's how I kind of try it, but...
I know when I changed my setup, I had to relearn a new timing for it because things were slightly lower latency.
Overmashed again, so I didn't even get it. Come on. I got it earlier today, I just got it now, just need to not overmash. At least you can just like mash on the world map and not have the world map completely load in before you try again.
Yeah. A map glitch also does like some weird stuff after you execute it properly. Like if you go to a new area while the map glitch is active, it does not connect the 2 points on the world map, so you can't fast travel to those 2 points.
I'm not gonna try the additional glitch afterwards.
It's free to do. All you do is turn on turbo for A and C, and that's it. But yeah, there's a glitch you can do. There's a thing you can do to fix the map glitch. It's about like a 50-50 whether or not it works with turbo because you can't hit every single frame. And it's basically if you press the confirm button on the correct frame in the overworld map, it'll fix the map glitch and connect the 2 areas. Otherwise, you have to go back to this area from the new area to connect the points on the map. And it saves, like over a minute to get it if you get it. Like I said, like what I do after I complete the map glitch, I turn on full turbo for both A and C so that they're just on auto fire, and then just go to it. And if you get it, it's obvious. If you don't, it's whatever. But like if you do the map glitch fix successfully, it shows the transition on the map to the new area. If you don't, then it just automatically loads the map and loads the new area without showing the transition screen. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab some more water.
Cool. Alright. I'll just be trying this glitch. It is unfortunately necessary. 2 dungeons take a very long time to get through. Probably just like doing it too early, maybe. I really don't have any feeling for this glitch. Yeah. I used to be okay at it. Like, it would take me maybe 5 minutes to do, and now it's just a lot. But, 160, it's... Like, unless you have, like, a frame counter or something up somewhere, it's very, very difficult to time out. Oh, dang it, I got it. I overmashed again. So close. I even hesitated there. I was like, do I hit again? Nope. Yeah, 25 minutes. Of course, I could be here for 25 minutes doing this, so hopefully not.
Alright, I believe in you, Car. You got this.
I mean, I just got it, but I overmashed, so...
But yeah, doing this saves a ton of time, because it allows you to skip 2 full dungeons, so it's worth wasting this time to get it.
Hit it late that time, too.
Also, I don't recommend hitting your knee on the table.
Did you just do that?
Uh-huh.
That sucks. Please don't damage yourself while watching speedruns.
Especially while you're commentating them.
At least you weren't on mic, you know.
Ah, but it was on mic. Just a good noise filter.
Come on, please. I've gotten it twice now and just derped it up completely. I wish doing turbo for it would help, but that would just really overmash.
I don't know. I've never had good luck with turbo. Like, yes, you can get it, but then if you don't let go at exactly the right time, then it just overmashes anyways. Like, I usually just leave full turbo on for the C button. That way, it just goes through the cutscene, and I only have to worry about the map glitch.
I wish I could tell if I was doing it too early or too late. Or what?
Probably too early if you're not getting it.
Yeah. Just hard to tell with how she walks over it and stuff.
Yeah, honestly, it's just a feeling thing. That's all it is.
I wish I had feeling.
Huh.
I don't
gotta
have
run the game more.
Feeling for this glitch. Just load a save here.
Yeah, just run the game more, you'll get it.
Oh! Dang it, sorry, dang it. It was just loud there. I'm sorry. It was loud. Yeah. I have an old CRT television that I use for every retro game I play. Just... It's nice. But I just can't learn... Just can't learn this timing. 1/60th of a frame, or 1/60th of a second, one frame. Dang it, I am just overmashing today. I said I was doing it too early before. I can at least feel that, so I just need to... Come on, be careful. Get through this. I still have a whole half of a run to go through still.
You got this.
And too late. I need to scroll my guide too. Where's my mouse? There it is.
Mr. Sanchini believes in you.
Oh, what was that?
Mr. Sanchini believes in you.
I'm glad the chat believes in me, but I'm not believing in myself right now.
Well, everyone else is believing in you. That's all that
I keep
matters.
hitting it late. This is just it's super annoying that I hit it late, which is just I'd rather hit it early than late. Because early means you don't have to sit through the loading time.
Yeah.
This is honestly the worst I've done this ever. So I apologize for having my...
I'll just run on over there and help you out.
Right. I apologize for having the worst performance of this glitch ever.
Like in my head, I'm timing it too. Yeah, the trouble is doing it right and not pressing the button again.
I know I've done it. I've done it too much 3 times already. I just need to actually not do it that well. I mean, if it keeps... How long have I been at this, honestly?
10 seconds.
No, seriously, I mean it. How long have I been
No, I really don't know.
This?
I really don't know.
I do have a save
at
I do have a save at the town after this one, so.
Yeah, chat's telling you you got this. Just power through it.
I'll try. But if this starts going like 20, 25, 30 minutes, then someone tell me please, and I will just load my backup save. That isn't really a backup save; it's just like a practice save. I don't actually have any backup potions, but.
Oh, your timer's currently at 1 hour in game for the whole run.
That doesn't tell me anything.
Oh no, but it allows me to have a gauge for when to cut you off.
Oh, got it.
There we go. Okay. Nice, very nice.
There we go. Okay.
Very nice. So now we
C is turbo.
The story trigger.
Oh man, see, complaining about it worked finally. All right, let's see if we get the follow-up glitch.
And it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I don't see a transition happening.
Oh no, there it is. You got it.
There it is. There it is. Nice.
Okay.
So
yeah,
we don't need to go back and do the load. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So that's a time save right there. Seeing that transition screen. If you didn't get that transition screen while map glitch is active, you have to go back to that area to connect the points on the map.
All right. So I do apologize
nice.
for that horrible length of time it took me to get map glitch properly, but that is map glitch.
It is a wonderful thing, but also very evil.
Yeah. Now imagine doing that in the very first town of the game when that Lakudo guy is like talking to you, and I need to talk to Nero, not the inn. And you have one chance to do it, and they need to actually reset the entire game if you want to try it again. So, that's any percent.
A consequence of doing the map glitch now, though, is that this cutscene plays like it's voice acted, where the mouths move and everything's really slow. Because it's timed out for voices, but there's no voice acting here, of course. Although, funny enough, the entire Japanese voice acting is on the disc, just unavailable. They were like, oh, we don't have enough space to put in more voice acting, and it turns out, yeah, because they just left the original Japanese voice acting on there and filled up disc space with it.
All right, now we talk to the innkeeper.
Now I'm wondering if they left it on there for people who would go and put the disc in their CD in their computers to see what's taking up what space, just to pretend like, hey, the disc is actually full.
Yeah. Man, I remember that was the excuse they used for Arts and Lego 2 only having half as much voice acting in the English version as it did in the Japanese version, and then people actually did that. They ripped the game. They're like, they looked at the size of the disc. They're like, those are lies, and plus you could have compressed it further.
So basically in this town of Lekuido, there's a monster, quote-unquote, terrorizing the village, and a bookshelf had fell on this kid's mom's arm and broke her arm, and he blames it on the monsters, now hoping to take revenge, and we have to go stop him from being an idiot.
He's just being a warrior, that's all. I think you can go this way, actually. Yeah, you can go into the water here.
Yep.
And then instead of having to go all the way around. Alright, now it's time for my least favorite dungeon in the game. Nope. Don't get stuck.
Yeah, so basically this dungeon is divided into two parts, east and west. We have to get a medallion at the end of each of these halves. And this dungeon is very difficult for what you're doing.
And also,
basically,
the game expects you to be able to run at this point.
Yeah,
like,
so
run on
there's
command.
instant dash technique we that you can get where you can run on command, and we skip that by not doing one of the dungeons.
Yeah, and the Japanese version where you can use the code, you can just put the code in at this point. But here, you can't do that. So I'm switching to Hikaru. Ah, come on, don't
yeah,
hit me.
so this is like
Don't
one of
hit
the
me.
areas where it's painfully obvious that working designs have made the game harder. Those chimera-like enemies, they deal double damage and they run a lot faster,
Here,
so it makes it
and
harder to avoid their attacks.
Do we go to South Bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah, south on the road. So now,
Yeah,
now we do want to take a death warp at the end of this dungeon, but Hikaru's already down. It's very...
Yeah, this is the only dungeon where taking a death
go
is beneficial, because when you die, you just respawn at the beginning of the dungeon.
Up the ladder I'm gonna
And,
see if there's health drops from the enemies.
I don't think they drop health, do they?
They can drop magic.
Yeah.
I
And,
these guys,
dying is no penalty in this game, which is really nice. I mean, like, the penalty is time, of course. But this is like the only dungeon where it's really useful to spend the time taking a death, because you're having to go to two different halves of the dungeon and then meet back in the middle.
Cross the bridge, move off. Follow the path left, crossing the next bridge. I get lost really easily in this dungeon. No, that's magic. I want to. Oh, I have my control switch. Let me switch back.
You didn't even realize it when you're casting magic.
Nope. Because magic is still on C no matter what. It's this the character switching and magic switching that changes. Where am I going? Up left, cross the bridge. Up left, walk past the mite tree. Go to the hole in the wall. Okay. Mite tree. I think there's a potion. Yep, I already have it. Potion here. Go to the hole in the wall. Ow. I'm gonna heal here, actually. Flag, so they're gonna shock these guys. Kill them.
Yeah, whatever works.
Yeah, I could not. That 3 Chimera section, I did not trust myself getting through there without dying, so. We need to go down the waterfall here, under the bridge, Hikaru, go under the bridge. There we go.
Yeah, so swimming in that section has like a little bit of physics applied to you, where like the water's supposed to be pushing you down,
Alright,
and it's basically so that you can't go up the waterfall.
we want to go to the right.
And so here you're supposed to have.
Speed.
Oh, yeah, you're supposed to have the instant dash to be able to break that rock, but there's enough distance where you can get running speed.
Yeah, just like barely.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a healing potion in the next area that I need to remember to pick up. I just don't remember where it is. I need to go up and around. I think I have it written down, but we need to go back up and around, and we're gonna smash our faces into these moths 3 times. They do 3 damage, I think.
Yeah. In the Japanese version, death warping's a lot slower because everything only does like 1 to 2 damage, and you have quite a bit of health by this point.
It's honestly quicker to walk, because there's a shortcut here. You can just take the water down back to the beginning. Something like that. It's easier, it's faster in the Japanese version, just walk back. Because these moths only do 1 damage, so yeah. Especially in glitchless when you have way more levels.
Yeah. I think death warping is still faster. You just have to take more damage along the way.
Yeah, a lot. If you're playing it risky along the way, because I think the chimeras do 2 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can get to the end with only 1 character alive, then it's fine to just death warp there. But if you get there and you played too safe and you have a lot of characters alive still, then it's a lot faster to go down the waterfall to the bottom again and just exit out.
Yeah, so the right side's the easy side. Now we're going to the left side where things get a lot more challenging. There's a lot more of those dashing chimera enemies.
You mean the right side's
very
the hard
clustered together.
The right side's the hard side. The left side's the hard side.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of environmental hazards. Like there's these trees that blow up and catch fire.
I find the left side easier to navigate, but harder in enemies. Because I always get lost on the right side, like trying to figure out where to go after and everything. But this one's a lot like that, a lot more enemy dense.
Yeah, I remember the very first time I played this game, I got lost in this area and spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out where to go. So that tree that we just passed by, it actually does damage you when it spawns, like these little tick enemies that are really annoying to deal with. Fortunately, you can just ignore it. There was one in the other dungeon, the other half too, that you can just damage boost through.
Right, Umi does not have her charge spell.
Nope, because she never leveled up. So yeah, normally by this point, Umi's your big damage dealer, but because that she's not leveled up, she's very weak.
I think there's a mana potion in this chest.
Yes, there's a mana potion. And the next chest is a health potion.
Oh, I have turbo on. That's why I don't have a charge attack.
Oh, yeah, that would do it. Because I was like, I'm pretty leveled up at least one.
Oh, we should have her second her. No, this is the health potion in the next chest, which is gonna be after these trees.
Yep. So these trees, they catch fire, they blow up and shoot lightning bolts.
I need to damage boost this tree here. So
yep.
Here, and then squeeze through. Okay, health potion.
Did you already use one?
Yes, I
you did.
I used mine last. I need to because next area, the chimeras here before the cave entrance are very risky. So we need to go here, go up. This guy. There's a fountain in this room here.
Yep. Very kindly, at least. And that's where you want to go.
Try death.
There you go. And then I usually try to kill these because they're just really obnoxious.
I need a heal here. Please make it. Okay, now flaming shot. No, I barely made it. So.
Yeah.
Okay, now I can run. I can get run speed now. Come on.
You're just like out of alignment.
There we go. I want to do it like right here.
There you go. Yeah.
There is a trick you can do where you can like tap in a rhythm and time it based on the character's arm swings to kind of build fast run speed. I used to be decent at it. That was a lot of voice clips in a row, so death warp.
Yeah, because like the game only checks for the animation that plays for determining if you run far enough for run speed. So if you can tap it just right, you can get run speed a lot more quickly in a short distance. But it's tough. Yes, this is the Sega Saturn.
Yep, Sega Saturn. I'll show my box again.
I show my box, but I'm not on camera.
And then also Japanese version.
Yeah, less cute. Yeah, the US version is a lovely release. Very big box art. It's holographic, or not holographic. It's holographic. It's very shiny. It's very pretty. The manual's full colored. It's rich in detail. Yo, Shawnee.
Is that a cat on the stream? Probably. Yeah, come here. There's a cutscene.
Yep, there's the cat. We got a cutscene, so it all works out.
Come here, jump. You're a cat, you can jump. You're a cat, you can jump. Okay, fine. I will bend over and grab you. Come here.
Cats don't want to jump when you tell
Aw,
them
she
to.
doesn't want to be on camera. Come here, Lena. No, not even for a treat. I will give you a cat treat.
Oh.
I will give you two cat. I grabbed 3 cat treats or 2 cat treats. Come here.
Oh, the Saturn's not underrated. It's just unknown. No, it's only about $1,000 right now. It's not 1,500 yet. I only paid like 170 for my copy, but that was like almost 10 years ago now.
Does this remind me? Does this boss have iframes?
No. Yeah, this boss can just continuously use a magic glitch in to deal with it. So yeah, if you just cast if you cast a spell and swap characters on the same frame, it casts the spell without draining the mana.
Or if you don't have any mana, it'll just...
Howdy, Murdoch. Yes, there's also there's 2 other runners. Midjitsu, who was in chat earlier, and there was a new runner I'm not sure of the name of. I only just saw their name briefly. That just started
someone
doing
did a
runs.
Run like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Movie now. Dodge attack. He did the run like 2 days ago. Got 3rd place time, so props to Crossman.
So yeah, basically this giant turtle has captured Nero, who tried to deal with the monster. And it turns out the monster's not a bad guy. It was just trying to shake off some debris that had built up on its back after a long sleep. But yeah, prices for this game can vary too, depending on how complete it is, because there was a set of stickers that came with it that not all copies have.
I have stickers in mine.
I do not. Mine is also missing the registration card.
I think I have the registration card in mine too. Come on, Lena.
Yeah,
jump. You're a cat. You can jump. Nope. Okay.
And it doesn't matter to me because, like, you know, considering what I paid for it and what it's worth now, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. It's like
and there was also 3 disc variants, although I don't think there's any difference in value between them. Just like 1 disc for each of the girls.
Yeah, some people try to say like, oh, this disc is rare. It's the rare food disc or the rare card. No, they're pretty much. I think it's even print numbers between the 3. Now you know, just considering like disc rot and lost copies and everything, who knows which discs exist the most of these days? But when they were made, they printed even amounts of every disc. It's not like Lunar, what had like fan art reprints later on that have lesser copies and stuff like that.
Yeah. And from what I've read, there's like about between 10 and 15,000 copies that were released, because this was like the last Saturn game released in the US. So not too many stores were willing to carry it. Yeah. And I remember hearing stories about people who wanted to get the game, and it's like, if you didn't pre-order it, your store wasn't going to stock it, if your store was even going to get a copy. Because Working Designs was just doing such limited prints for the Saturn at that point, because Sega of America was fighting them every step of the way.
Hans is throwing us out. So we took the turtle up to, after becoming friends with him, we took the turtle up to the Sky Garden. And they've been kind of isolated for a long time, ever since the problems started happening in Sephiroth. And they're like, oh, we haven't seen people like you plebeians from the surface in so long. And so we come up here and we're trying to get access to the Sky Garden, because maybe that's where the machine is or something. Just because one of the things... Can you move? Thank you. South across the bridge, west of the inn. So...
Yep. You're gonna stay at the plot inn?
Yeah. The only... Inns do nothing in this game, by the way. There's no healing at inns. They're literally only existing for the plot.
Yep. Because you can't even stay at them unless it's for the plot. And, so we're gonna go talk to the mayor again. We're like, oh, maybe he's cooled down today. Because he wouldn't let us go see the goddess statue that we came to see.
Yeah, maybe he was hangry. Maybe he had a Snickers today.
Huh.
That would be a very Working Designs joke they would have put in if that joke had been around then.
Right. So basically, the key
Summer Night has those.
the key to the Heaven's Labyrinth was actually stolen, and just because we asked about it the other day, we're accused of it by asking about it again.
So now, the obligatory stealth section.
Yeah, this is now a sneaking mission. Be sure to put on your sneaking suit. And we get to focus as Fu because, just like cutscene-wise, she's the closest to the exit here, and also for an event trigger later in this area.
Yeah.
She's the only one who can trigger it, because one really cool thing about this game is that each character has their own flavor text for every item you interact with. And, so, like, they get each character's perspective on different objects you look at. But also, in this one particular instance in the game, it's actually plot relevant.
Yeah, it's like this game expects you to have been doing that.
And I know I did on my first playthrough. I was checking everything, and once I found
everything.
out that multiple characters, that each character has a different way of talking to stuff, I was like, oh.
Yeah. Check everything with every character.
Yeah.
Wait,
oh wow, you do this really slow.
No, I just thought right away. I'm like, wait, usually I go up and around, not down and around.
Yeah.
I don't. My brain just derped there. So now my cycles are all off.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal.
And I take this very, very safe compared to like.
You get scared whenever you get caught.
I do get scared when I get caught.
So these guys have a very narrow vision. Apparently, they don't have good hearing either. You're safe.
Okay, that's
and nice thing is that only the girl you're playing as is the active target. So, like, they see two girls that aren't the active target, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's no big deal." They see the active girl, they're like, "Oh man, I've got to deal with that."
Do I go down? I don't know. This way. Okay, here, and then here. And then we are not doing the fast way.
Yeah, I was about to just describe what it is, though.
Go ahead and describe the fast way here.
You can do the fast way where if you follow him as he's going to the edge, there's like a small wiggle room that you can do to squeeze past him. You have to be at running speed to do it. And it's very easy to either bump on the corner or bump into the guy and get caught. But it allows you to set up for a cycle up here where you can just run straight in and dodge this guy's cycle too. And there's also a guy up there that is an extra troll cycle that you can run into if you don't see him.
That's why you
want
to stay...
we made it to the room where the key is,
That's why you want to stay low against the wall in that final part, so you dodge the other guy, and then just right at the end, just head into the corner and just stand right next to the guy, but he can't see you because you're right next to him and not in front of him.
Yep.
And so
yeah, we climb through the chimney and we see Fario's flute and like, hey, what's up with that? And so now we're gonna go talk to Fario, who's with a mysterious cloaked woman who looks suspiciously like a character that hasn't appeared in the speedrun Alcyone.
Well, she's appeared. She appeared. Did she appear? She escaped and then she didn't appear.
Oh,
yet.
right. Yeah, never mind. She did appear in the fire mansion.
Yeah, she appears in the fire mansion. And you call her a bad word.
An Oba-san.
Alright, and now we talk to Rafarga, who's here. He's all armored up. We inspired him to take his armor back up and try to save the princess.
Yeah. But he's also all tattooed up for some reason.
Yeah. He put his war paint on. He's ready to go.
Totally. That's totally what it is.
No jumping? Nope.
So yeah, we're just basically scouting out the place to see, like, well, it was like whoever stole the key is probably planning to use it, right? So let's just wait by the gate and see what happens. And then we see Fario.
There he is. He's using the key. He stole it.
That jerk. Turns out he was the villain all along, even though it's totally not the woman he's with.
Totally.
So, we're going to be coming on to one of the most interesting skips in this game. It only works in this dungeon and in this loading screen. Normally, this dungeon's kind of cool. I like it a lot. It's long. There's some backtracking involved, but you get Foo's level 3 spell, which lets you float over obstacles and hazards. But we're not going to get that. It's the only instance in the game where you skip getting a spell.
Alright.
Oh wow, you run really far up.
I didn't mean to run that far up, actually. I didn't jump in time, so I'm going to try that again.
Yeah, so basically...
I just want to go to here.
Yeah. So basically what's going on here is that we're setting up to have running speed in the first room of the dungeon. And what you have to do is you have to do a running jump into that transition screen, but you have to do it in a specific way where you land as you're falling off, as you enter the loading screen. And what it does is it wrong warps the area where it loads up the collision of an area that's near the end of the dungeon, but shows still this normal area. There we go. So you see everything's looking kind of weird now. And so what it does is it allows us to enter to the room that's like right near the end of the dungeon, allows us to skip all the puzzles in the game, in this dungeon, and just go straight to the end. And that's the only place in the game where you can do that. For whatever reason, that screen has that transition issue. And it only happens if you jump in a very specific way. It's not something you're going to ever find out by accident.
Basically, if you land at the same time the transition happens, that's how you can tell that you've got it.
Yeah, and it's only that... I just don't get why it's only that screen and nowhere else. Okay, it's so bizarre.
Flaming shock, and I want to switch that. That's fine, and I want that one. Okay, we're good to go.
And so, get into this cutscene and gasp, it was Alcyone all along. Who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk?
The woman who's been chasing us ever since the beginning of the game was really behind it all.
I have to remember where the positioning of this boss is. I usually go too far down and ruin it.
Yeah.
It's like that little protruding rock near the bottom right, kind of.
Yeah, there's like a small little square of protruding rock that you can go to.
Just stand next to it, kind of.
And gasp! It turns out Rafarga's under mind control too, but not from Alcyone, but from Zagot. A much more powerful mind control.
Yeah.
And fighting the mind control, he walks off the edge of the world, and yeah, sadly he's fallen to his grave.
No, he's just trying to perk up a little bit. Now there's a
and so Alcyone, as Retribution, summons an angry bird-looking thing. I have no idea what it's supposed to be.
Okay, right here.
Yeah, there you go. And so this fight is really weird. There's an AI bug with this fight. You don't have to wait for an eye for him.
Yeah, I'm smashing buttons.
Yeah, he's falling in style. But yeah, this fight has a weird AI bug. If you stand in a very particular spot, and it's actually, I shouldn't say it's very particular, you get like a little bit of you get quite a bit of leeway with it. You stand over in this spot, the AI bugs out and just continuously spins in a circle and doesn't do its normal AI pattern. But if you move out from the spot, he returns to the normal pattern. If you move back into it, he goes back to the pattern. So bizarre. But it makes this fight it makes this fight 100% consistent, because normally this guy, he flies off the screen, then he'll come in and dash. And during like the dashing part is when you can hit him, because that's when he's low to the ground. He drops feathers on the ground that can be annoying. He also can blow you off.
Run speed for
and also for whatever reason after a certain point in the fight, Alcyone quote unquote powers up the boss where it starts flickering but it doesn't actually do anything. Like I can't tell if there's any difference. The patterns stay the same, the damage is the same.
How many hits does he take?
A lot. I never actually counted it because it's so many.
I need to restore my mana. He's probably like one hit away, but I ran out of mana. Yep, he was one hit away and I ran out of mana. Nice job.
That's funny.
Oh well. I still got a health potion for later if needed.
Yay.
And I don't think there's any more pickups. I think the Lake Labyrinth is like the last pickups you can really get reliable. Like, they're right there. And I don't have enough money to buy. There's no more towns in the game, so I don't have to, and there's nowhere to buy more. I don't have enough money anyway, but should be fine. If anything, we can just take a death and warp back and fix it that way. So now we find, so yeah, Fu's machine, Wyndham, was here the entire time. That was the goddess statue, so we steal it. Statue is now gone, and it's ours. And now we just have the volcano machine left, which is Hikaru's machine. And I think Hikaru, at this point, I think she hears that, she kind of feels that it's near, it's like where it is or something like that. So not yet. After the next boss, she hears it.
Curse the fortitude of Rafarga. His will was much stronger than we had anticipated.
So yeah, now we're getting more villain
situation, dear Lord.
Equip your armor and go, Inova.
I
pray.
Are there particular spells that work better than others on bosses? Or always the same. It's
as you desire,
typically always the same. Usually those level 2 spells are going to be about equal, except for that one fire mansion boss where Hikaru's magic does nothing and Umi's magic is super effective. The only reason we're using the broken magic spam is because we're underleveled. If you're going through this game normally with, grinding for money and having the proper levels and everything, your physical attacks will be a lot stronger, and 2, you'll have more mana to use, so you won't have to use the glitch to actually use it. Because I played this game casually and speed ran it before that glitch was found, and it was doable. It was perfectly fine. We just had to go to physical attacks after you ran out of mana, or use a magic potion.
Yeah, and Umi became your damage dealer because of that, because her physical attack is crazy strong. And it has an absurd amount of range by the end, too.
Yeah, it was just, attack with all your magic, except for Fu's if you're being safe, and also if she didn't have her physical attack yet. And
even then, you wouldn't use Fu's magic anyways, because it does less damage than physical attacks.
Yeah, I think the turtle boss and the bird boss, like the turtle one we just fought, and then that bird we just fought. Those are the two.
No, I'm pretty sure it was only. For I believe
for magic.
The bird fight's the only fight where Fu's magic does the same damage as the other level 2 spells.
Yeah, I have it in my old notes that using Fu's magic on the turtle is fine too, but you still want to typically stick to
Well, on the turtle fight, Umi's physical attack does more damage. It does the same damage. I believe the physical attack does the same amount of damage as the magic, but you can do more. You can do physical attacks more quickly because it doesn't pause the game.
So
if I recall,
talking to Rafarga to see that he didn't have his memory anymore, and then talking to the old man that says, "Hey, you should go to the Tree of Life and see if they have medicine left." That sets the flag for this town here to kind of switch to its next state, where you can go to the hospital and get the medicine. Actually, just in case though.
Like normally at this point, we skip doing the Tree of Life stuff, so normally it's supposed to be all Tree of Life stuff. But because the game is coded in such a way that the most recent event takes precedence.
I just did a panic save there, just in case, and I have done that before, where I talked to them in the wrong order. So I didn't actually, I talked to the old man and then Rafarga, but you have to talk to Rafarga to get the old man to say, hey, go to the Tree of Life to get the medicine. So I ended up going to the Tree of Life, and they got me into the cutscenes for the Tree of Life, so I had to wait for all the cutscenes to go through and then leave, and then I forget if I had to load a save or something. I don't remember what I had to do there. But I had to escape somehow and do a part over. I think I had a safety save there, honestly. I don't remember exactly what happened, or what marathon was that? Oh well. It doesn't matter now, because we did it right this time. So now we need to go back here, talk to Rafarga again. And he remembers us, but he gets that medicine gives him a massive migraine, and he needs to go outside and get some fresh air.
Yeah, it turns out that Rayearth couldn't shake off Zaygot's powerful mind control because Zaygot's like the second most powerful magic user in Sephiroth behind Princess Emerald, who he's currently holding captive.
So then is Clef the third most powerful?
Maybe. I don't know enough of the lore, but I would assume so.
Clef's like the head mage, basically. I just know that much, and I forget how like between him and Zaygot, who's stronger.
I imagine Zaygot's stronger considering he got turned to stone by Zaygot's magic.
Probably. All right, so Alcyon got sniped by a Nova there, and now we gotta fight Rafarga.
Yeah, Rafarga is kind of an annoying fight because he has iframes whenever he's casting a spell, and you can't damage him while he's doing that.
Yeah, and you can't, because he's a human type boss. You can't damage him until he attacks. Can you stop hitting me? You can't damage him until he attacks me.
Yep.
Where is he? Come here, come back. Come back. Just wanna make sure you're on the screen when I hit you. So, I think he's gonna, no, he's not gonna go red yet.
Yeah, after a certain amount of damage, there's like an animation where it turns red, and he can't damage them during that time. Considered invulnerability
He's
frames.
turned red here, and he's gonna attack again, and I'll hit him. There's like 3 or 4 hits away here.
Yeah, you can cast it after he starts opening his eyes, and it'll clear the field as well of the fire, of the flames.
There we go. There it is. Just 3 hits after he turns red. Okay, cool. So not too bad. Little spicy there with Hikaru being at 1 HP, but. So,
and now we're being asked to kill Rafarga because he can't resist the mind control anymore. And Nova does the job for us, but in that cutscene, Hikaru levels up and does and scratches Inova's perfect face.
He mad, Poppy. He mad at that.
The Sailor Moon anime is legit.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. How, they're finally releasing full season box sets for Sailor Moon now.
Oh boy. Maybe someday I'll own season 2.
I'm just gonna take the long way around the map here.
Why? You can just press up.
Can you press up?
Yep. And then press right or left.
It is open, yeah. I forgot.
Yep.
The arrow doesn't show that it's open, but it is open.
Yeah, because you haven't been that way, but it's only open from that direction. If you go from the other direction, it won't count as open. Since you hadn't been that way.
Alright, so now Polyzoo Village is kind of beat up because this volcano exploded. But it
Yep,
also
and we got
opened
held
a path
there.
up down here.
Yeah, this path that leads to the final dungeon is normally locked off, but if you were to do the true 90%, you would just map glitch through that path and through a tiny little space off screen that lets you squeeze through the barrier.
Yeah. Alright, and now this is the final dungeon.
Yep, and we learn Hikaru's final spell, which is named after her dog, Hikari?
Yeah, Hikari or Flash in this translation.
Yeah. And apparently our dog followed us into Sephiroth to become a magic spell for us. And is the most powerful spell in the game. It costs 10 mana to cast, so it's very expensive to use.
Yeah, we don't have 10 mana.
Yeah, we don't even have 10 mana on Hikaru. And it defeats any boss in 3 hits. If you use it 3 times, it will kill that boss no matter what. Which is great for if you're using the magic glitch.
Moving platform down the stairs, we're top of the map, okay. This dungeon's a little mazy, and also these floating platforms are really annoying. Because they don't count as solid ground, so if you fall off of them,
solid ground you're on.
You just get sent back to the last actual solid piece of ground.
Yep.
And then these rooms have the fire snakes.
And in this room, there's a fun little magic pixel you can wiggle through to skip a barrier that blocks your path.
Up and around and this way. Watch out.
And
for
it
the
saves some
geyser.
annoying platforming.
Just kind
So-
of go here.
You can just walk right through it without having to go all the way around.
And if you need a healing, you can actually use, it's kind of neat, you can use the water spell to cool that fountain down and be able to drink from it. Alright, now
Yep.
here, go under the bridge and up the stairs. Under the bridge. Come here. At least I think it's this way. Wait for the
Yeah,
platform.
and this area is just like a bunch of platform
Middle or
cycles that
right?
you have
Is
to
it
wait
middle or
for.
right?
Right.
Right platform. You can do either, but I think right is slightly faster.
No, the left one takes you, or the middle one takes you back to the start, I think.
But I mean, no, the middle one, I don't remember. I just usually take the middle one, but the right one I think is, they both
Oh
lead
no,
you
yeah, the
eventually.
middle one takes you way too far to the right of the map, and you have
Yeah.
to walk across a really laggy bridge. I remember now. It's been so long since I've taken that path because I stopped taking it because it was really bad.
Okay, now I need to wait for this fire snake to come up, and I'm gonna tornado him so he doesn't bully us off the platform.
Yeah, these fire snakes, they dash at you, and if they hit you, then you fall off and you have to do this whole section again.
They expect you to have run speed here, again, to make those jumps a little less spicy. But you have just enough room where you don't need to have instant dash to be able to go through. So run up and just pause. Run up. Pause. Alright. And that's the end of the dungeon. That dungeon for a final dungeon is pretty easy. We're gonna switch Hikaru's magic to flash. And just automatically switch over to Fu because we have what, 8 mana? Something like that.
9 mana,
9
because
mana.
after this fight we get 10.
I guess technically, if you wanted to be able to use Flash without using the Magic Glitch, we could feed the 1 MP up jewel we run into to Hikaru instead of Umi,
Yeah.
if you wanted to. But we feed it to Umi for the heal at that point, so that that one enemy before the flames in Bewildering Cave goes down easier, and of course we have Magic Glitch.
Yeah, so here's Alcyone. She's bleeding to death. She's like confessing how much she loved Zagot and was like willing to die for him, and finds out that Zagot loves somebody else. And she's willing to throw her life away because she feels like she's lost all meaning in life. And we have no choice but to deal with her as much as we don't want to. But we want to turn her into an ally, but she refuses.
Yeah,
She
in
just
the
wants
anime,
to-
she doesn't die at this point. Just bully me off the edge, thank you. Okay, come on.
Nice
Come on.
fizzles. One more fizzle?
I got 4 straight fizzles. 4 straight fizzles.
Oh my goodness, that's unfortunate.
There we go. Okay. Usually if I really beef it with Fu, I can just go to Umi and it works better, but... Okay, three flashes and we're done.
Yep.
Just
Very
got
easy.
4 fizzles in a row, amazing. Alright, so she... In this is, a self-contained story, so she fades out here. In the I forget how in the anime that she lives, but she appears in the 2nd season, and I honestly don't know what she does, because I only watched, like, the last 2 episodes of the 2nd season, and I was very confused. It's just very different from the manga, where the manga she does die at this point. And here's Rayearth. It's also a dog.
Bork bork.
Bork bork. We have found
And now
all
we
3
have-
machines.
Yep. And now we gotta go storm Zagot's castle, because like the whole lore was that we needed to find the 3 ancient machines to disrupt the barrier protecting Zagot's castle, so that we can storm it and defeat Zagot and save Emerald.
We're gonna save her. We're gonna save the princess. That's how it
Totally.
works. Yeah, totally.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's no more dungeons after this. There is literally just it's basically a boss rush.
Yep.
Master
Actually, I'm
Zayat,
actually one
I
boss too
implore
high
you,
in my notes. So I have to
return me to my original form.
pull those down.
The power of the magic knights
that.
can no longer
There
be
are
ignored.
4 bosses left.
It is my duty to destroy them before they become powerful enough to threaten you. But to accomplish that, I must abandon this frail shell.
Sounds like you need to play the Saturn game, Professor Ness. To relearn the Rayearth lore, because this one is the true Rayearth lore.
Although the Super Nintendo one does have the trick about the Spring of Eterna that this one does not have, which I kind of appreciate. The trick being the Spring of Eterna, the spring we skipped at the beginning of the game, is a 2-dimensional spring. So if you approach it from the side, you don't find it. So you have to go above. That's why in this game you go up a cliff to see it. That's not really explained why you do it in this game, but in the anime, in the manga, in the Super Nintendo version, you actually do see that, oh, it's a 2-dimensional spring, you gotta go up and above it to jump into it. Alright, so now we're going back to Priscia's house. We've totally been here before.
Oh yeah, totally. Nothing wrong here when we go inside Priscia's manor.
No.
But yeah, so one fun thing about the Alcyon fight, it's the only boss fight in the game where you don't heal after defeating the boss.
I did. Thank you for reminding me, because I had Hikaru up, so I didn't know that Fu was out of magic. Alright, so luckily the flag is set here that Priscia's out and talking despite that chair still floating over there with Makona in it. Cause that's how like, it's like half of the state at the start of the game and then half of the state of now, basically.
That's amazing, Professor Ness.
I need to play, I started playing the Super Nintendo one a long time ago, I just never finished it. I should... That's one of those things that I should do, and, you know, playing games that I don't own. It's always hard. I already don't play the games I do own.
Yeah, I was gonna say, try playing games you do own.
What's playing games?
It's just speedrunning the same game over and over.
That's what I do. This morning I was like, I should play something before the marathon. I was like, no, I'm gonna play some Chocobo GP instead and just practice that. And then I practiced that and practice Hanagumi Tyson columns and then practice this a bit, and I was like, okay. And then I had a tech check for something else.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm done playing games.
I'm currently playing through the 25th Ward, and I've technically finished the game, but there are 100 flavor endings at the end that you have to complete if you want the rest of the dialogue, which is a lot of work. I think I still have like 20 or so to go.
Alright, so a Nova here...
I'm stuck trying to finish that game.
A Nova here shows up and turns into a dog.
Yeah. And he's not a good boy.
And this is true. He basically had his, to become a human-like form, he had his power shackled, so he actually got to remove his shackles and put him back in his true form, so he could just go completely own us. But, it turns out that the horn on his head that doesn't even show was his weak spot, so Ferio attacks it, and now we're going to completely body a Nova.
Yeah, because this fight's actually kind of long. Nova has, I think, the most health of any boss in the game by a sizable margin.
And even though he looks like a dog, he counts as a human-type enemy and has iframes after attacking him, so you have to wait for him to stop flashing, which can take a while. I whiffed it. Come on, don't beef it. Stop beefing it! I have to wait for him to finish attacking. Come on. Ah! Crap. Okay, come on. There we go. I don't know. I've just been having bad luck with food today. Food's not doing it for me. Hopefully it doesn't happen in the next fight. It's even not worse, but it's harder to come back from when it happens in the next fight. So
yeah.
just because the arena is so much smaller in the next battle. All right, home stretch. I can finish this out. So
Yeah,
you talk to Fairy. These are all our friends that lived. We only met like half of them really, so.
Yeah, and we only care about Fario anyways.
All right, that's the point of no return. If you wanted to finish up any side quests or anything, you had to say like no there and go. This is like go finish all your side quests. So, you know, go finish maxing out your HP and MP and collect all the rainbow amulets and trade them in and go talk to the NPCs and see all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's But once you go to the final castle, you are stuck there.
Yep, and the game is very explicit about once you go, if you hit yes here, you cannot come back. Which is nice, you know, I've come across many RPGs where you get past the point of no return and you're just like...
Or RPGs where you get a choice like that, but the top option leads you to the bad ending. Growlancer 2.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's great for the speedrun. You can just mash in the speedrun in Growlancer 2 and get for the any % bad ending run, and just go to the bad ending. But if you're trying to play casually or go to a good ending run, you have to count your text boxes at the one of the final cutscenes, so you don't go to the bad ending. It's great. Okay, Zagat.
Yeah, he's trying to make us question why we're here, and we're like, nah, we're just gonna deal with you.
You've been bad, so.
Yeah.
Again, human type enemy, he has iframes, gotta wait until he finishes casting his magic before attacking him.
But he also has unique iframes where, if he's like glowing around him, you can't hit him, because that's like him when he's moving around.
He's gonna do his meteor attack next, probably, because he always does his meteor attack after 2 flashes, so.
Yes, when he hits red health, he starts adding this meteor attack into his repertoire again.
So you really want to hit magic push there. You really want to hit it on your third one so you're invulnerable during the meteors, because if you miss it, you get hit by the meteors. The meteors do 8 damage, which is instant death.
Yeah.
And now, we're playing an RPG, right? Action RPG, Zelda-like game. Right? Yeah?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah, totally. So, now there's going to be a sudden genre change.
Yep, now we shmup.
Now playing a shmup. Welcome to Imagine at Rayearth the Shmup.
Yep. So this fight's interesting, where you have to wait for him to attack in order to deal damage. Basically, he has like regular iframes, and he has additional iframes where you can't attack him while he's attacking, or if you did damage him, you can't attack him until he's done the loop again. Normally, your magic is your most damage here, but you only use it a handful of times. There's no magic swap glitch in this fight. And for whatever reason, Fu's damage stacks. So the more arrows you hit him with, the more damage you do. Ideally, you want to hit him with all 5 arrows, and you can kill him in as little as 3 hits if you land every single arrow every single time.
Ow.
But it's pretty tough to do that.
Just like smash my face into it before it's gonna warp to the left for
yeah.
a second. Okay.
And he likes to favor a move where he summons bees. That's what I call them.
I hate the bees.
And they're really annoying because they just shoot lasers everywhere. You have to deal with them, but you also lose turns in attacking as they got.
I'm cornered.
That's a dangerous place to be.
I'm switching to Hikaru so I can get out of here. Okay.
Yeah.
Is he dead yet? I feel like I've been hitting him pretty good.
Yeah, generally you want to be like up in his face when you deal damage, that way you can maximize your arrow hits.
I think I've been hitting like 2 or 3 if you want to attack. Attack! Attack!
Weirdly enough, Umi is your weakest damage in this fight, not even considering Fu's arrows. Even though she's been like our heavy hitter the entire game, she suddenly becomes our weakest damage.
There we go.
There we go, nice.
I was hitting like 2 to 3 arrows just because I don't exactly know where his body hitbox is. I think it's kind of by his neck there.
Yeah, it's a bit
finicky. Alright. Lightning.
So Big Bad Evil's
lasers,
down. We're totally over with the game,
orbs,
right? We can save the
bullets,
princess and call it a day, but
sparks.
totally not yet.
Lightning, lasers, orbs, bullets, sparks. Wait, no. No, it's lightning, lasers, No, lightning, lasers, orbs, sparks. And the orbs have bullets. That's what happened. I'm reading my guide wrong. Okay. Lightning, lasers, orbs, sparks. Lightning, lasers, orbs, sparks, fire. I forgot the fireball, Shentok. There's fireballs too.
Yes, there is.
There's fireballs. Lightning, lasers, orbs, sparks, fireballs. Final boss.
We find the princess. She's pretty upset that we killed Zagat. It turns out that she was in love with Zagat and asked to be captured to protect Sephiroth because
yeah. Sephiroth runs on the emotions of the pillar. She's the pillar of Sephiroth. She has to pray for the safety of the world. If she's distracted or is running her emotions all over the place, Sephiroth is in danger. So she asked for Zagat to kidnap her to trigger the summoning of the Magic Knights. And now she is asking us to kill her, to end her suffering because, we killed her lover, and also end her suffering as the pillar. She doesn't want to be the pillar anymore of Sephiroth. So, a few cutscenes here. She's going to completely body us. I'm going to actually be kind of careful here and not touch anything.
Yeah, don't touch anything. If you cast a spell during the scene that's coming up, you soft lock the game, and it's pretty rare to do because, like I've only done it once, and it's basically a really tight window to even.
Once is enough, because if you have your C turbo on to just mash through the cutscenes here, you can easily hit it from that and just soft lock the game, and then you need to go fight. Depending on when you saved, how many bosses again? If I did that, I'd have to fight Anova again too, all the way back there. So yeah, just be really careful and just hit the cutscenes as they come up. That was the last cutscene, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Wait,
okay.
Yes.
So, okay, lightning, lasers, orbs. I will hope I do not die in this fight.
Yeah, so this fight's pretty tough in this version. I feel like it's actually kind of like a fair fight, but at the same time, First Animal does do a lot of damage. Normally, if you're playing this fight casually, you have to destroy each of her body parts to weaken the amount of damage she does. So that she's like limited her attacks, so she can only do eye lasers left. But you can just attack the head and damage that. That's like the only thing that matters. And this fight gets pretty dangerous if you're not careful with taking damage, because everything does more damage in the US version, of course. And GG time, very nice fight. You do have a spell. I use it when I'm like trying to avoid taking damage. I think it does a good chunk of damage, but it cannot kill Emerald with it. It's impossible to kill her with that spell, but it does a good chunk of damage. And you can die
after you kill her. That's why I was still dodging those sparks.
Yes.
Because I have died after killing her, and that does not count as winning.
Yes, I've lost PBs doing that.
Yeah, very good.
I always get really tense in the fight.
Yeah, I always get a little tense too.
Princess Emerald! Hikaru!
But yeah, GG, that was awesome.
That was except for Boulder, except for map glitch with the Boulder. We'll just forget that happened. The rest of the run was pretty solid for me not doing a proper speed run of it, other than just like de-rust here and there in portions in like 2 years. So pretty good. I do enjoy. It's just a little bit long of a speed run for my liking at this point, but I do really much enjoy this game, and I highly recommend people come learn this game. The glitches are fun. I came in underestimate, so that's good. The glitches are a lot of fun. And just the game itself, if you have not played this game, I highly recommend it. I know to get a proper copy of the game, it can cost like a kidney and your firstborn child, but there's many more ways to play the game than just buying a copy. And of course, the Japanese copy is still relatively cheap, and then you get more cutscenes and get to actually enjoy the thing. But yeah, very highly recommended game, as well as the Super Nintendo RPG for Rayearth, and there's other Rayearth games as well out there too. But those two, this one and the Super Nintendo, one of the two most well known. Do you mind if we be able to sit through the end of the credits here? There's some good things at the end of the credits.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
And just letting you know, you all got a 155.37.
That's decent for how still shaking the rust off a little bit here, but underestimate. That's all I care about.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's great.
So I know one of the lore things about this game that I think was, I don't know if it was posted about, I don't know if it's in the main or something, that a lot of, I think possibly it's why the Heaven's Labyrinth is kind of shaky in code, is that some of the source code for this game was lost. This game came out in 1995 in Japan. The US release was in 1998 due to general working designs delays, source code being lost and having to reprogram portions, and then also being held up by the Sega of America for releasing 2D games on the Saturn. It's a miracle the game even came out. We love them for it. It's a great little gem here. But yeah, if anyone's interested in learning the run, there's the leaderboard on SRC, speedrun.com does have the guide, all the guides to the glitches, all different categories. You could learn, all rainbow amulets or glitchless or anything like that too. It's a very well-rounded run that just doesn't have that many runners to it. Just I think the price of the game kind of scares people away. Oh, I'm gonna pick you up. Got a cat.
Yeah, we got a cat.
Cat. Cat for the end of the run. Don't scratch my happy, please. Don't scratch my happy. So yeah, thank you all for coming and watching my 2 runs and Shentalk's 1 run in his commentary. Hanagumi Tyson columns as well. Please go play that. The second game as well also has a good fan translation. Play Sakura Wars, watch Sakura Wars. Play Rayearth, watch Rayearth. All very good series. I don't stream super often on Twitch. When I do, it's usually anime-related things. I play a lot of rhythm games. You'll see me a lot more on like Twitter and other places, tweeting and talking about that. My username is the same everywhere. Shentalk, do you stream? What do you stream?
Me? No, I don't stream. Of course I stream. I mainly stream Sega Saturn games. Lately I've been on a kick with a Saturn port of an arcade game called Elevator Action Returns. Fantastic games. Highly recommend it. Saturn's definitely my main content. I don't know why. I kind of grew up with it. I had like a couple of games, but I didn't really get into it until like the 2010s when I really rediscovered it. But for some reason, there's just something about the console that I absolutely love and can't get enough of.
Alright, here we are. Very special thanks to Mountain Dew and patient Saturn fans. And I do have a can of Dew right here. Some Flamin' Hot Dew, because this run was spicy. And yeah, patient Saturn fans for waiting. They announced this game pretty early on, and then 3 years later it finally came out. The only review I have it from, like, Game Informer, it's like one of their very, like, bottom of the barrel reviews. The clipping's like this big. They scored it like a 5 or something. But yeah, thank you all for coming out. I think there's 1 more run in the marathon, 1 or 2 more runs in the marathon, so stick it out to the end here. My cat's not wanting to get off my lap now. Say bye, Lena. Say bye. And yeah, thank you all for watching.